All right, coming to you with the late edition of Week 9. I touched on a little bit of the games Sunday morning, but let me go ahead and give a recap of Week 9 for you guys. Michigan took on the Bruins. Michigan lost their game in real life, and the Bruins won their game against Oregon State. So, by virtue of Bruins winning and Michigan losing, the Bruins win their game over Michigan. They move up to 4-5. Michigan falls to 6-3. Washington lost their game against USC in a stunner. Well, it wasn't such a stunner. USC handled them. That's frustrating. Let's move on. Tennessee Titans, who they played in their fantasy game, beat up on Green Bay, which was also a shock. So Tennessee moves up to 4-5. Washington falls to 7-2. However, both Washington and Michigan, even though they dropped in the national polls in real life, those two teams are safe to make my 12th Warrior playoff. They actually go up against each other in Week 10. The winner wins the division and also the number one seed. The loser falls to second or third place. But they're a lock to be in the 12th Warrior playoff. 2 of 4 teams. LSU played Missouri. LSU won their game. Missouri actually won their game as well. However, LSU only allowed 10 points to Arkansas. They move up to 5-4. Missouri, they lost again. They dropped to 2-7. They played Vanderbilt. They won, but they allowed 17 points, and LSU only allowed 10. So, Florida State played the Chiefs. Now this is interesting because Florida State they won this game, and they moved up to 6-3. The Chiefs won their game, but by virtue of tiebreaker, they allowed 17 points to the Panthers, and Florida State allowed 7 points to Boston College. So once again, the Chiefs lose on tiebreaker. Chiefs drop to 4-5. Florida State's up to 6-3. This puts the Chiefs in a tie at 4th place. Florida State is secure at their 3rd spot. However, I'll get to the idiosyncrasies of this game and the results at the end here. 2 more games. You have the Rams taking on Seattle. The Rams won their game, and Seattle, they actually won their game as well. However, the Rams only allowed 6 points, and Seattle allowed a whole bunch of points to the Patriots. So the Rams actually advanced. They're 5-4, and Seattle drops to 4-5. And by dropping this game, even though it was on a tiebreaker, Seattle will not get to challenge for the division championship. It'll be the Rams versus the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs and Seattle are both 4-5. Chiefs hold tiebreaker over Seattle. Winner of the LA Rams and the Chiefs will be in the college playoff. The winner of LSU and Florida State will be in the college, not the college football playoff. What am I talking about? The 12th Warrior playoff, my fantasy league. So 3 division winners will represent in the college, the 12th Warrior playoff, and 1 team will be at large. Final game, Jaguars in New Orleans of Week 9. Jaguars lost their game against Houston. They dropped to 3-6, and New Orleans, they lost their game to Denver. Now, when both teams lose, it goes to which game was closest. The Denver-New Orleans game, Denver won by 2 points, 25-23, and Houston won by 3 points over the Jags. So the Jags lost by a point. Now this is interesting too because this puts the Jaguars out of the division championship game, allowing New Orleans to take on Tennessee. Now the Jaguars next week play Missouri, which I'll get into the matchups in another video here. But the Jaguars are essentially in a knockout game with Missouri. Missouri, I'm giving them the opportunity, although they are being replaced by Arizona State, which I'll get to in the next video as well. Missouri can knock out the Jags on their way out the league. So if Missouri somehow in real life beats the Tennessee Volunteers and the Jags lose their game to, I think it's Detroit, Jags and Missouri are done. And then there's just going to be one more team at play that could stand to be eliminated. That's next week's game against Seattle versus UCLA. So neither one of those teams are in play for a division championship. Neither one of those teams, Seattle or UCLA, can make the 12th Warrior playoff. So it'll be interesting to see how things unfold. I'll give you a breakdown of next week's games in a future video, but that pretty much covers Week 9. Week 9's in the books. Washington, Michigan stumbled a little bit in real life and in my fantasy league, but they're still in the driver's seat. So thanks for watching. You guys have a great week.